Hey there, everybody. Ian, you are in the background, my man. Wave hi to everybody out there in the world of YouTube. It is I, David Mason, aka The Goose, and everything else we've always come to know, grow, and love here at the OTPH show. I thought I'd come on because, quite honestly, I wanted to. I got some downtime. One of the children in bed around 7:30. Wife is showing up. I know those have been few and far between. I do apologize. Things are a little out of control in my world. For a good thing, not a bad thing. All the bad things are taken care of. Running. So that's I did have a couple of comments on articles by hours ago. The news station that Diddy uses Donald Trump's criminal case to bail Isaac. Diddy's lawyers say that his speech should be protected by Donald Trump's ruling on bail effective Monday. Prosecutors say Diddy is trying to interfere with his jury plea. So Sean Diddy told his attorney cited doesn't list Donald Trump's federal criminal case in a letter to a judge expected to rule on his bail business on Monday. In a letter submitted to Judge Arun Abramian on Friday, the music mogul's attorney argued that holding a statement on social media and other private public venues are protected by the First Amendment and should be evaluated based upon both demanded scrutiny as well as Trump's presidential. The court should apply Trump's heightened standards when considering the official impeachment, this man wrote. There's that court in Trump's case found that holding significant legitimate threat to the administration of the criminal judge. The court's persistent independent speech. Comey's lawyers argued that this is why he has a greater constitutional claim than other trial participants criticizing the evidence of the prosecution. What we know so far, Trump beat the United States Supreme Court considering whether Trump was banned from criminal prosecution for act taken during his presidency. In their letter, Comey's lawyers referred to a social media post by his children within the Manhattan. The government's argument is that his children birthday wishes on Instagram that he is not entitled to publicly express his opinion of the prosecution and racially motivated or quite simply unconstitutional for the time. Sorry. You guys, as I'm reading that article from News Station, basically, he's been denied bail. Basically, from this question, not guilty to charges that are racketeering conspiracy and sex trafficking, prostitution, kidnapping, arson, bribery, or obstruction of justice, among other crimes. In addition to criminal charges, Comey multiple laws say he abused them and forced them to participate in actions of will or false. Those may have worked as a leading system. Uh, uh, hmm.
Can anybody hear me now?
Thing that I hate the most. I think I found it now. I think I got the right microphone on. I do humbly apologize, Gabriel Griffin. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Unsure. Have fun. You're out. Whatever. Yeah. What happens is I don't keep my soundboard plugged into the computer all the time. And once in a while, my brain does not do a sound check before I jump on because I tend to pop in without cause, warning, or need. So, whatever. You go. Deuces. All right. So yeah, sorry, had a little. So what I'm saying is, look, Diddy did do bad things, and if he didn't, well, My issue is that you put yourself in that predicament to potentially be making that crime. And I use an example. If I was one asked to be a part of a jury, that I would have bailed out on, because I don't. I believe that any man who is in an argument with a woman. Hey, yes. Okay. Can you give me this issue? Sorry, getting kids to help me out here. Thank you. I don't need the whole box. Just give me the number. Not yet. But so sure, why not? Because I shut your phone off, so you have to have mine, and shut the TV off. So, what I'm saying is, sorry, I have squirrel moments. For those of you who don't know me very well, I tend to be midpoint and get distracted by 30 different things. I know nobody likes that, but here, I'm here. If you're out there watching me, and I see you do have a few people watching, and you do me a favor, and just let me know if you can hear me now, because I think I got the microphone working right. Toddler in the background. My oldest is playing on my phone, because heaven forbid he just. And I said shut the TV off too. You have my phone. So you turned yours back on.
No, it was back on. I literally.
So why do you have my phone? And here I am live trying to talk to the masses, and you're.
Hi.
That's my 14-year-old, aka Crackopotamus. Now, Alex, if you're done drinking, put that away in the fridge. Sorry, every time I go on, everybody needs me at that point. And never when I'm not on. If we're just sitting here scrolling through Facebook video. So what do we know so far? First things first, whether Diddy or Diddy do it, I don't know. And if you are watching, please. If you're watching on my Facebook page, I can't see those comments live. So I gotta get the thing. Go look at these. So if you're watching me, please let me know if you can hear me right now. I know people say my name's there, they're going to break down now. So yeah, so guys, yeah, I'm usually far more prepared than this. I love my family. I'm not getting that. Oh, now people are watching. Hey, everybody. Once again, my name is David Nathan. You are watching the OTPH show. And if you read the little thing in the bottom out there, you'll notice I am the man with no plan, because I came on to briefly talk about Diddy and remind everybody to just love one another and everything else. And then all of a sudden, I'm seeing everything going, and everybody at that point then wants to start talking to me as if, now's a great time to start talking to them. The guy that swirls out at the drop of a hat. So, guys, I want to kind of go over a few things. I'm trying to build the OCPA show a little bit more than what I have done. Nothing against my co-host, founder, and the man with a master plan, Sal Lafont. I'm just trying to find my own, find the little niche while I'm here trying to figure out the best way to give you guys a great show. I know a lot of the OTPH fan base loves the political stuff. I try to stay away from it. I'm more of a sports buff, a little bit of a bull in the face to get down a little bit. But a lot of what I do is I want to make sure that I make a show that is absolutely enthralling to you guys. I want you guys to sit there and watch the whole thing, not to put the pin game in it. But what is the point of putting on a show if you leave halfway through it? So if you have any comments, criticism, critiques, please put them in the book of God. Let me know. And if you can hear me, someone post in the comments if you're watching me on YouTube right now, which a lot of people are watching on YouTube. If you can hear me, I've worked here or anything between. Um, yeah, I love what I do here at the OTP still. I'm very proud of how we work. Uh, my 4-year-old keeps coming into the room every 30 seconds, takes a step, goes back to it, and go back here. I'm like going crazy here. So one of the things that I like to talk about are I used to find a lot of funny stuff in the news. I haven't been kind of weirdo news. If the good old my good friends over at the AP News have anything new to lighten up the mood here around there, a family of rodents from Argentina appear in a caravan, and I don't need that information outside of Dubai. Oh, no. Oh, how many people heard about those 43 monkeys that escaped from a South Carolina testing facility? Um, And Yamase, South Carolina, 6 monkeys are still on the loose early Monday after dozens escaped earlier this month from a South Carolina compound that breeds the primates for medical research, according to authorities. Two more rhesus macaws were trapped Sunday outside the Alpha Genesis facility in Yamase, bringing the total recovered monkeys to 37 of the 43 that escaped. Alpha Genesis CEO Greg Westergaard said in a statement relayed by Yamase police in a social media post. Both monkeys recaptured Sunday were examined and were in excellent condition. And they can attest that the absolutely. Anyways, so yeah, how do you let monkeys out? They just sat there and go wait for your time when they come give us bananas. We take off. Um, yeah, guys, I'm drowning here. I'm drowning. Tonight show, all other shows here. The OGPH show is brought to you by my good friends over the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, guys. If you are feeling down and out and you don't think that this world needs you, you're going to be proven very wrong by what I'm about to say. Everybody's life has a point, everybody's life has a purpose. Right now, you're down and out because something is going on. If you feel this world is better without you and you think you need to go hurt right on the homepage is our God Not Done With You shirt. You guys are looking for that bowler jersey. I know you may not be an avid bowler like I am, but you purchase that shirt with good news and that deal for returns coming that money directly to a good buddy of mine. Uh, a good friend of mine, a wonderful human being by the name of Joe Barrow. Joe, dude, you are absolutely a godsend to that community, and also our good friends over at Gears and Heaven. You guys are beyond a shadow of a doubt doing God's work, yeoman's work. We are happy with everything that you guys are producing here. As I said before, of mental health, especially when it comes down to having a voice. You guys got to realize that your voice is absolutely key. You gotta speak up. 'Cause quite honestly, there's a lot going on in the world, and we need you here. We need more people more than ever, guys. If you are watching, please let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? not doing anything. But guys, I also like to talk about good things. But I'm doing this more as an informative show. I want to see what our fans, our guests, everybody who wants to look at us, want me to talk about. Do you want me to talk about sports? 'Cause there's a lot happening in that one, from the Bruins firing Jim Montgomery to less than 5 days later, the St. Louis Blues hired him and fired Doug Bannister. We could talk about the fact that the Cowboys have absolutely, abjectly disappeared. If anybody is watching, guys, I'm trying my very best to find out if I'm coming through. I'm watching my numbers fluctuate, so I know people are watching. I just need a comment or two letting me know if you can absolutely hear me, because I don't know if you can hear me. Justin, you really posted that. But guys, I'm trying to find out if my microphone is working and nobody's talking to me, so I'm kind of worried here. I was looking at the audio stuff and it just showed me that the microphone is working. I believe the microphone is working. The volume keeps fluctuating as if the microphone is working. I know my audio is working, so I'm assuming that it's working. And guys, so right now I do want to bring up some stuff to do with professional sport, with sports in general, namely when people are in youth sports. I've coached youth sports. A little bit of background on me: I've coached basketball and baseball as a coach. And this goes out to a lot of people who are parents. Just sit in the stands and enjoy the fact that your kid is out there playing the sport that you may have loved. And I want you guys to sit there and enjoy the game. And I want you guys to cheer your team on, good, bad, and different. Acknowledge that the umpires are human. I acknowledge the referees are human. Acknowledge that the coach has a big job to do, and it's not just to cater to your kid. All too often, what we end up doing is we end up having these people come in and parents who think that they know more about the sport but never want to provide any kind of update, not update, but provide any help coaching wise. Well, here's the thing: I give up my time of my what we have is all too often is parents get behind. They're saying, "Oh, you get the one, I get no." It's not that they don't like it. It may not be showing me when I go to the sport or something. What may not be able ever really talk about it. Now, that does throw your tiny lines up with how doesn't mean anything. Baseball, you know, you know, fastball, curveball, you know, I believe in life. What you should do as a parent, yeah, why is it that what I mean by that is you have to do that these kids grow. You gotta be able to compete because people perform better confidence. People step up confidently because they know that people are there for them and they know that they got the support and they know people believe in them because they start believing in themselves too. When you as a coach do not do that, it's a method on a bunch of things where you can tell that you're working on. My kids didn't for me. My kid never got Trevor until my kid got injured like everybody else. There's another aspect. And so boys and girls and anything you can think of because quite honestly my whole job as a coach is to try to get the best for everyone that's playing. Sounds like you are underwater. You're sounding any better tell us because I have no idea how it is now. Could be a little phlegm in the throat too. So yeah, one of the things I like to talk about too, after I'm talking about sports, exactly what's going on here. If oh well, that made it worse. If I'm backwards, probably an idiot not working. Probably more on my end. Is anything sounding better, guys? Oh, it worked. Damn. Okay, I am not touching any part of it anymore. Everything else okay, guys? Are we starting to come through that? Oh, there we go. Yeah. All right, it is official. I am happier than P Diddy in a Johnson and Johnson factory. Um. So yeah. Yeah. Look at my hands. I'm not touching anything else anymore. I'm done. I'm not touching nothing. No touchy. Um, glad to see everybody here, guys. For those of you who are new, because I see a couple names that I'm not used to. Let's start over. My name is David Mason. You are watching the OTPH show. The beauty of this show, and for those of you who have followed us for a little while, is nothing is off limit. If you get offended easy, I do recommend please going somewhere else. If you let me know you're offended, just ain't going to get much worse. I truly believe that I can cater to people, but I don't have to. My cousin Scott and I we're going to be talking. I'm going to go up there and see him on Thursday for the holiday. Everybody have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. I want to see you back here when we talk about how fat we feel. So I do want to say that I'm going to try in the new year to try to get the show back organized, get some more plans and kind of keep a tab on it. I've kind of been going all out. I got busy just around the time Scott had some stuff come up that needed to kind of make him step away. And I'm trying to work on building and keeping the brand growing because, guys, we got something growing here. Almost 1,300 subscribers strong. We have a great message. We have a great way of talking to you guys. And I want to make sure that everybody who comes and watches the OTPH show leaves knowing something new or has more of a feel to it too. But I also want you guys to know in the chat, keep it as respectful as we can, unless somebody starts being disrespectful and you guys want to kind of take over and help a brother out if you would. But I must say, guys, this has been a fun ride. I have enjoyed everything we have done here at the OTPA show because, quite honestly, without you guys, this show would have been just Scott and I talking for no apparent reason. We have done hundreds and hundreds of shows. When we first started out, for those of you who have never been to an OTPA show before, when we first started out, to say that we were raunchy was an understatement. We tried so hard to be offensive and not hard enough to be educational and have fun. Scott and I, when my brother Scotty took off, we ended up retooling the show, and we want to keep it still on edge. We want to say stuff to make you go, oh, because that's who we are as human beings. Scott and I are not just random people that met and said, hey, let's do a show. Or buddies, we're related. He's my cousin. I love him to death. He is a wonderful individual. I believe it's called the Granite Bugle. He's got his own YouTube channel. Go check him out because he's on top of it. I wish I could be a quarter on top of what he is. He is doing a fantastic job. I'm very proud of him. I love him to death. He is one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. Scott, I'm looking forward to seeing you on Thursday. We're going to have a nice day of food, football, and family. Three F's that I can't get enough of. A little bit about what's going on in the background here. For those of you who don't know, about a month and a quarter ago, month and a half ago, my wife and I lost my mother-in-law, someone who was really important, my oldest child and my wife. Uh, we have since kind of dug out from that one. We have worked our way back. My wife is getting over a little bit of a sickness, so things are going crazy one step at a time. But the greatest thing available is the fact that we got such a great support staff, and I can just come in here and vent to you guys, and I feel perfectly fine doing it. But let's talk about things that bother me. First off, political fanaticism. I can't stand it. I can't. You heard me throughout the entire political season, have you? If you've been following the show, that I don't believe in one party or another. I think all politicians suck. I believe that they don't care about you. They're just going to sweet talk you to get a vote so they can get the power. And look, I voted for Trump. If you don't like that, tough shit. And the reason why I say that is you have the right to vote for who you want to vote for. If you voted for Donald Trump based upon the fact that you believe that Donald Trump was the best person for the job? Absolutely. If you voted for Kamala Harris because you believe she was the best for the country, all right, whatever. The problem I have, and the biggest problem I have for those people that voted for Donald against Donald Trump, not because they thought Harris was better, but because they hate Trump. Look, I believe wholeheartedly Donald Trump is a narcissistic asshole. I tell everybody this. I'm not hiding behind it. But Why did I vote for him if I think he's an asshole? Because when he was president, I could afford things, and I got to think of my family. When I vote, I think of what my family needs to deal with. Do I need to deal with another 4 years of the shit show, or do I need to deal with the 4 years that were prior to that when I could afford things? And yes, I don't expect it to be done overnight. So for those of you who are like, oh, you just expect that come January it's going to be done. No, I don't expect that at all. Why do I not expect that? Because I know that's not logically going to happen. Things don't fix themselves overnight. But we're already starting to see a little bit of that. It's getting a little bit better here and there. Now, I'm not going to give anybody credit. I'm not saying it's because Trump coming into office. I'm not saying it's because of anybody else. Oh, Canadian. Kellogg should be happy to know that I am a Canadian too. I just was not born in Canada. I've been to Canada a few times. I went to the Zoo de Granby. I believe it's called the Zoo de Granby. I'm horrible at that one. I've been there a few times. I've been over the border. Lovely country. I would love to go visit it. I work with a guy from the Canadian implant, if you would. Well, I tell my wife, funnily, that she, in a comedic sort of way, that she's Canadian for injection. Um, but I don't believe in political fanaticism. I don't believe getting up on a soapbox and just and not willing to debate somebody who gives me opposing views, aka liberals. And here's why. I believe if we're going to talk and we're going to debate, we should do it peacefully. I set rules very quickly for myself. I'm going to keep it peaceful until you don't. I'm going to talk to you like you're an adult and that you have an intelligent mindset. And I expect you to do the same. I don't expect you to just repeat what the media is telling you because, quite honestly, that is not how it works. Is Donald Trump an asshole? Most definitely. Absolutely. 200%. But I voted for him because under Donald Trump, I could afford things. I have to think of my family. I have two children, a 4-year-old and a 14-year-old. And I cannot think about, oh, well, I want to put someone in office that's just as bad as the one we had the previous 4 years. It just makes no sense to me. Here in the great state of Texas, I mean Massachusetts, we are stuck voting blue no matter which way it is and no matter how stupid the choice is. And I'm not dogging Harris. Look, she may have been qualified in stance, whatever, because she may be more mentally fit than Biden. But really, she had no plan. She had no game plan. Oh, but they no. She got her nomination handed to her, and she screwed it up. When she went down to Atlanta and down into Georgia, and she put on that fake Southern accent, that was more of an insult to the people of Georgia than a compliment. To show you how bad she was, states that were statistically voting blue started turning red. And for the past 4 years, what have we had to look forward to? We had to look forward to people coming into this country that had no business being in this country. And that bothered me because, you know, I'm all for immigration. And I say this all the time. And before people jump down my throat, I am all for immigration. I'm all for bring us your tired and huddled masses. I'm all for. Yeah. Um, Kellogg's, you're starting to become a personal fan favorite of mine. I appreciate you wholeheartedly. Butter is $9 a pound. Jesus Christ. I don't even know what it's like this. Wow. Now you're gonna make me research this, right? Let's just go to good old Walmart. Okay, I'm gonna pull up Walmart and I'm just gonna put unsalted butter just because I want to know what it's like. You're paying $9 for 4 sticks of butter, which is about 1 pound. Um, the most expensive is 6.22 per pound at Walmart, and that's Walmart. But Kellogg, you're right. But not only have groceries gone up 37%, but when you look at Kamala Harris's number one policy that she was going to do to help balance the economy was what is called an unrealized gains tax. And what that is that her way of saying, hey, look, if you own a home that 2 years, that when you bought it was $100,000, since Biden took office, your house is now worth $300,000. You have $200,000 worth of unrealized gains, and they're going to tax that 25%. So, for those of you who are not good in math, that would be a $50,000 tax bill that you would have to pay on money you never knew you had and didn't realize you could have had. That also goes for 401ks, stock options, and stuff like that. If you got a $300,000 401k, you're going to be biting the bullet on a big ass tax bill. That made no sense. It also made sense that a lot of her policy mirrored that of Mr. Donald Trump. Look, again, I'm all for immigration. They built this country. We are all theoretically immigrants as American citizens because our ancestors were not exactly born here originally. Mine come from France and northern Canada. I believe some part of Canada, but I don't remember what part. I believe somewhere near the Montreal area. But so when you allow people in who should not be here, who have a bad criminal history, look at Lincoln Riley. She got killed by an undocumented illegal immigrant. Those are the people we need to get rid of. And I'm all for Tom Homan. I like that guy. He basically told them already to start packing their bags. They're going to be found. And again, I'm all for it. I'm all for immigration. I just want you to do it right. I want the right people in this country, the right people to help make this country take a big step forward. In the last 4 years, we have taken so many steps backward. It is embarrassing. I'm looking at now the fact that Zelensky and Joe Biden seem to be trying to set up World War III. And when you step back, we may have been in World War III for a while now and never known it. I mean, when you think about it, all the cyber crimes, all the hacking and the ransomware. The company I work for that should remain nameless just because I don't want to give them free advertising. Um, they got hacked by Russians. Well, ransomware. They decided, nope. They just basically set up an all new Wi-Fi system, all new security, and basically just rebuild, not rebuild everything, but just redesigned everything from the floor up. It kind of stumbled them back a little bit, but here we are. Damn, $9 a pound is ridiculous. Um, yeah, I might be old school, but uh, in 2016, the average price of a pound of butter was $1.96 to $2.27 a pound. In 2024, it's anywhere between 2.62 to 3.14 a pound. So yeah, prices got out of hand, and they got out of hand in a hurry. And why did they get out of hand and out of hand in a hurry? The biggest problem that we had was not necessarily just Joe Biden being willing to give Ukraine billions of dollars hand over fist. There was a lot more to that. COVID didn't help when they were handing people money hand over fist, hand over fist, hand over fist, hand over fist. And yes, Donald Trump did have a hand in that. But it also went with, because of that, we also had an influx of immigrants, which means we kept giving them free stuff, free money, so they went out and spent it. Yeah, companies are making billions of dollars, but the problem is the average American is not making money. I'm no economist. I don't even pretend to be one on television. When you really break it down, things just have sucked these past 4 years. It's hard to be patriotic and step back and realize that your leadership screwed up a predetermined exit from a war zone, aka Afghanistan. Donald Trump had that all under control. 18 months in Afghanistan, not a service member needed a band aid at the hand of the Taliban. The moment he left office, shit got real again because they went, weakness. Leadership has to be strength. Leadership starts with strength. If you're going to be a good leader, you have to be the one with your head up the highest saying, let's go, guys, we got this. And when you tell someone you're doing it, you got to do it. You got to hand the world you're, this is how I'm doing it. You will do it my way, or else, and the or else has to suck, and they have to believe that the or else exists. Just like being a good parent. A good parent isn't necessarily about being your kid's friend, and that really drives me nuts. This new age of parenting where I just need to be my little boy's big old buddy. No, you need to be their parent. Sometimes you need to give them a little reminder of who's in charge. And I'm going to tell a little story about my 14-year-old, but my 14-year-old believes wholeheartedly that he has rights, and he's not wrong. He has rights given to him by our forefathers here in America, but the one thing that he does not realize is that his rights are in my hands, meaning his freedom. If he acts up wrong, I take away freedom to move. I take away his phone. I take away privileges because I have to show him that there are consequences for negative action in this world. And that started dropping off somewhere in the early 2000s when we decided that participation trophies were the way to go. And participation trophies are never, ever, ever the way to go. That's how socialism is, guys. If you think about what socialism is literally giving a participation trophy to the entire team when one kid was trying his hardest. That kid starts realizing, wait a minute, I am busting my backside. I am learning the game. I am studying the game. I am working on my craft in the backyard. I am pitching 100 balls every night. I'm throwing to my dad every night. I'm hitting a ball every night. I'm going to a batting cage. My parents are spending a lot of money on me getting better because I want to play this game that I love. And little Jimmy over there in the corner, they put him in right field because he sucks so bad. He's too busy picking dandelions in the outfield to realize that the ball is coming at him. And then our poor center fielder, me, has to run and get the ball. I've hit the ball. I've been at the plate 13 times. I have 12 hits, no RBIs to show for it because my team can't get on around me. The kid goes 1-10, and his team gets a trophy for finishing dead last in their division. You finish dead last, you don't deserve a trophy. You deserve to, hey, get back to work. Winners get trophies. And I've coached T-ball. I've coached every age group from T-ball all the way up to 13 to 15-year-olds. All right? Everybody expects a trophy just for showing up. That's not how the world works. You don't get participation trophies in life. You want a trophy, you got to go out and earn it. You got to work your butt off. You got to get up early. You got to stay up late. You got to study. You got to work. You got to push. This is all things that you got to do in order to make yourself better. And the only way you're ever going to get better, the only way the world is ever going to get better, is if we take away those participation trophies and we have a really difficult conversation with those who want to be lazy. Look, is it true that nobody wants to work anymore? I'm 44 years old. I've been working since I've been 17 years old. And I'll tell you now, I don't want to work anymore. But I do because I know what's on the line. My family, my friends, my lifestyle, what I want to do, who I want to become. But do I want to sit here and watch somebody who is perfectly capable of working collect government money? No, no. Do I know their full story? No, I do not, and I should not make assumption that they're just living off the government. They're just going to go have another child. But do I wish they would just get off their ass? Yes, absolutely. I think most of us in this room today would be lying. We'd all be remiss if we didn't have that same philosophy that I'm not going to bust my backside of Jimbo over there and his wife and 14 kids who are living in a 3-bedroom apartment can drive around in a brand new Mercedes, but yet they're giving him EBT benefits hand over fist. And look, not everybody who's on welfare and on EBT and on government help are low life. I won't lie. For a period of time, my wife and I had WIC, which is Women, Infant, and Children, which is basically giving us nutritional stuff as a kid that help us with the groceries, like milk and bread and peanut butter juices, stuff that, staple crops, if you would. And so we had it for both kids. The oldest one we needed it. That was like a huge relief. For the toddler, we got it because of COVID. The rules changed. Yeah, I'd like to see more American pride, a little bit more fight in what America does. We used to be an industrial nation. That other nation came to us and said, "We want your stuff in the best." We had to pay extra because it was made in this country and it was made with pride. It was made American proud. It's not anymore. And I can prove this. Yeah. And I'm not dogging the company I work for, but I'm going to use it because I see it with my own eyes. When there are standards and there are quality control standards in place, and we say, hey guys, listen, our quality control says that the product needs to be X and Y. If we introduce Z into the equation and your manager looks at you and goes, get it out of here, send it, do it, the quality goes downhill. People will know that very quickly. We know everything has gone down substantially in quality over the last couple of years, over the last couple decades. Don't believe me? Honda and Toyota, the two car companies I absolutely love. I have owned cars from both of them. I currently drive a Toyota Corolla. They used to be built to last. I talked to a work buddy of mine today, and he used to own a '97 Corolla that has now over 300,000 miles on it, and it is still running like the day it was made. I had a '88 Honda Accord, 200,000 miles, a 2005 Civic that absolutely tore the road down. Now these car companies are falling into a lot of the same recalls that Ford and Chevy and all these other car companies have had over the last couple of years. Because what ends up happening is the quality goes down because material got so expensive that we got to start cheapifying it. We got to start taking away, and we got to save money, but we also got to make money. So we got to make sure that we make an okay product. They make them to last 5 years now. They don't make them to last forever. The fact that I have a car that is almost 20 years old speaks volumes on how well that car was built. But I have friends of mine who have bought cars way newer than that. I had a friend with a Volkswagen Golf GTI 2016 that has an evap canister that may spontaneously combust. I have another friend who has a car that is just a rolling turd bucket. And you're like, that happens. But now it's like you go out and buy a new car and you're like spending, $30,000, $40,000 on a Hyundai Elantra. Actually, my wife owns a Hyundai Elantra, so I'm not gonna knock them. You go out now and buy that same Civic that years ago used to be a great value car. You can get, $20,000. You can almost have the top of the line Civic. Now you're looking at out the door. You're going to be paying about $30,000 and about $600 a month or more. Now loan they're so desperate to give people money. They're offering 7-year loans. If you get a When you buy a car for $25,000 in 7 years is 84 months. You are paying $297.62 a month. That's before any kind of interest. But here's the thing. Let's talk about that $25,000. And let's say, for argumentarian's sake, you got a 5.5% interest rate. You are paying another $1,400 almost in interest payment. That's assuming that you have okay credit. So you're not paying 5.5% because the loans are not that low anymore. So let's take that 25,000 and do what you're really gonna pay. 9.5%. You're paying another $2,375. So we're gonna add that into our $25,000. You are really gonna pay over the course of that, well, first payment, but we never know how long that's gonna be. So you're gonna pay them back another couple grand, but they're not gonna just they're going to try to get you to space those payments out. Now at the current 7-year loan rate, you're paying $325 a month, assuming that you got a 9.5% interest rate. That's assuming you didn't put anything down, but they're not. It's not just $25,000. Way more than that. And a lot of times, that's where you get in a lot of trouble. And you're like, oh my goodness, it is all blah blah and blah and blah. Well, your car is going to end up being 35,000 because the interest rate's going to really pile on, especially early on in that loan. Guys, am I saying don't get a car loan? No, my name is not Dave Ramsey, which I just worked through one of his courses. But you got to be smart. When we bought the Hyundai after looking at an entire car lot, looking at an entire used car lot, looking at an entire way that things go through multiple car lots, and realized that a brand new car was cheaper than it used. So, guys, over the last many years, this country has gone downhill. The pride that this country used to have in its people in its country is gone. The political fanaticism is absolutely devastating. It is killing our country right now. What do I mean by that? People won't listen to the other side. If they know that I vote for Trump, they don't even want to talk to me. Holy crap, how could you have voted for a felon? Uh-huh. Sure. Do I believe that what Donald Trump did was illegal? No, I believe it was a circus. I believe it was a not a fair trial, and I believe that he got free trained by a lot of people who just don't like him. I don't like him either, but the Stormy Daniels money, she technically owes him money, and he never paid it. She never paid it, but that's neither here nor there. Do I believe Trump is an innocent human being? No, absolutely not. Do I also believe that President Donald Trump is our best hope to make this country run right again? Yes. Do I believe that people after him, if it worked, should leave it the hell alone? Absolutely. If Biden never did anything that worked, I would say the same thing. But his tariff plan with China worked so well that even Biden extended it. Speaking of Joe Biden, listen, the man was the president for the past 4 years. Do I think he had his whole faculty the entire time? I don't think he had them at any time. And I also believe that anybody that paraded him out and got him to be treated the way he was, to showcase him the way he was, to make it hard, to make him look like he looked, should be charged with elder abuse. I'm pretty sure the man has Alzheimer's. And I'm no medical expert, but just the way he carries himself, the way he looks, he constantly looks like he's lost. His wife should be charged. Anybody who paraded him out in front of cameras and teleprompters and media and all that other stuff should be charged, considering that should be called elder abuse because they didn't do this man any justice. Am I a Biden supporter? No. I voted Trump for the. This would be my third time voting for Trump because the first time I voted, Hillary scared the shit out of me. Second time, I know Biden's political record sucked, and, and then this time I voted because I knew the guy that was qualified had to be in office. We need to fix this problem, but we as Americans can fix so much too. See, I heard horror stories that people are disowning family members over their vote, and quite honestly, I think that is a bunch of bullshit. You have the right to vote for who you want to vote for. I do not have to conform to anybody's idea of what this country should be because I have the right to vote. I have the power to say my voice. Nobody can tell me, oh, you voted for him. You must not care about X, Y, or Z. I think that's an absolute dog and bullshit show, too. Because I voted for a person I believed could run this country and believed that could take us to a different level. That's my belief. That is my right. You have no right to tell me that I need to do something else. You don't need to call me racist, fascist. You don't need to call me Nazi. You don't need to call me a deplorable, or as Tim Walz would call us, weird. I have the right to that. I have the right to my opinion, just like you have the right to yours. I may not agree with you, but I'm going to respect your opinion. I want to have a debate with you. I want to talk to you seriously, one on one, not talking about the media talking points, not using catchphrases that Democrats use all the time to describe something, not trying to provoke violence, not trying to get hatred. I want to have a peaceful conversation with some of these people who really believed, really believed that Kamala Harris was better than Trump to run the country, and I want to hear factual reasons why. But I believe most of the votes that she got were just because people hated him that much and they wanted to see her in just so he wouldn't be it. That's it. I have like a piece of hair that keeps crawling up my nose and pissing me off. But think about that, guys. We had people in this country not voting for Kamala Harris because they thought she was better because they just didn't want Donald Trump again. I've had a friend of mine, a wonderful friend, a wonderful lady, Kathy. I'm one of your biggest fans. She also gets me all the news that sometimes is a little too dark for me to talk about on a show that's dark in general. But she is married to a full blown Hispanic. She is whiter than I am. She is whiter than the walls behind me. And she has been called a racist. She has been called um, absolutely horrible things because she voted for Donald Trump. People in this country are abandoning family over this bullshit. This is the political fanaticism that I am worried about will lead us towards Second World Civil War. And it's not going to be anything more than political faction versus political faction. And the only people that are going to benefit are the people in power now. They're not going to care about you. They're not going to care about the people you're killing or the lives that are being lost. All they're going to say is when the survivors are done and we're standing tall, we're going to win it all. You have the right to tell me that I'm wrong. I want proof. But drive my wife nuts. I want proof. I want proof that I'm wrong. And I want factual proof. I don't want to hear your bullshit. I don't want to hear what the media told you to believe. Listen, do I believe that everybody who hates Trump believed what the media said? No, but the media did help that along. Our mainstream media, your MSNBC, your CNN is a joke. Your Fox News, your ABC News, your CBS News, all these guys started turning news from telling me what's going on to telling me what I believe should be going on. We shouldn't do that anymore. We need to bring back Walter Cronkite if we can, rejuvenate him. So let's go down the line of other things that are wrong with this country right now. And the biggest thing is that nobody cares about anybody anymore. We are no longer united. And our political leaders are loving every minute of it because they're sitting there going, we got them boys. And the more and more we divide ourselves, the more and more they win. We are the United States of America. It is worded in our first part of it, united. Because the great man once said, united we stand, divided we fall. Country's falling right now. Nobody wants to think about that. Nobody wants to look back and say, we're failing. The country is failing. We are failing hardcore. We are failing not because of anything more than political fanaticism, bullshit like that. We're also failing because nobody cares about their neighbor anymore. When was the last time you went and checked up on an elder neighbor just to make sure she was okay? Joking around, many times I've called my mother-in-law out of the blue just with what I call the obligatory "Hey, are you dead?" phone call. When was the last time you saw an elderly neighbor struggling to carry groceries and just randomly ran over there and helped her? I'll tell you, when I was a child, back in the early 90s, I had a neighbor that none of us could stand. I lived on a dead end. She lived directly across the street from us. Like, if we looked in her windows were open, we could see. We were that close. We hated her because she always had a problem with us going on in the yard to go retrieve a ball, and we would literally go retrieve it and get off. We didn't think it was right either. We played and tried everything we could to try to keep off of her yard. One day we looked over, neither one of our kids were home, and she was struggling, so we went over and helped. We, my brothers and I, went over and helped a neighbor who, quite honestly, pissed us off on a daily basis. That's the right thing to do. That's being a gentleman. That's something I teach my boys. My boys are being taught on an almost daily basis that we treat women with respect. We help where we can. We listen. We do what we're told, and we're kind to everybody. And she goes, all the issues we've had, you could have easily watched me struggle. And I looked at her and I said, that's not how we do it. From that point on, we never had a problem with her again. Never. Because she realized we were kids, but we were good kids. She made it a point to waddle her overweight ass across the street to tell our mom how proud she was that we would take time out of our game to help. We had a neighbor 3 houses up the street from us. We loved. hanging out with her. She would sit and talk with us for hours outside. But her husband, if you were to look at him, just look. Don't even talk about talking to him. Just from looks. If looks gave you everything you needed to know, like him that over you would have thought that this man would eat small children. He just had this scowl about him. He had a resting bitch face for a guy. One day he shows up at our door. He got a box. Has some football, tennis balls, baseball, not a wiffle ball bat, wiffle balls. He went out and bought us a bunch of balls to make sure that we could continue to play because he enjoyed watching us play when he sat down outside just to enjoy the nice weather. That's the America that I miss. You can randomly go around the neighborhood, see a bunch of kids playing, join in and jump in. Nowadays, oh my god, I can't. You know? And that's what we need to get back to. Simplicity. Simplifying everything. We need to get back to a simpler time where everybody got the fuck along. I remember as a kid, I could ride my bike for miles, and my mom would just be like, "Hey, come back and check up on it. Check in every now and again." We'd go home, go to the bathroom. Mom, we're doing good. We're going back out. We're talking. I grew up in the age where Nintendo started becoming popular. The Sega Genesis, for those of us who could date ourselves that old. But I really gotta say, I miss those days. I used to back when I met my girlfriend back in '97, '98. We started dating, and all these years we're still together. I love her as much as I did from day one. Yes, she pisses me off, and we do go at it every now and again. But I'm proud of her. She has become an absolute wonderful human being. I love her more than life itself. Um, but I used to rollerblade probably 2 to 3 miles just to go see her. And went to high school together, and the rest is history. And the history continues to write itself. But guys, we are Americans. We need to love one another. We need to take a deep breath and realize that the person to the left and right of us may need our help. And we need to worry about our own. We need to take care of our own. If you're an immigrant in this country and you've done it legally and you're working hard and you're struggling, by all means, bring us your tired, huddled masses. We are here for you. But we have to remember, not every demographic needs a special parade. Not everybody needs us to hold their hand and sing kumbaya. What we need to do is we need to realize that our country is great. And it's great because of people like you and I that work our butts off, that we sweat and bleed for what we do. Because that's how it works. That's how it will always work. That's how it will always be. Because that's what we are as Americans. We are Americans. We are the best thing that we got going right now. And we can no longer sit back and let political leaders dictate to us whom we should be, what we should do, who we should like. So that's not how it goes. I love, I love every human being out there. But quite honestly, it's the people out there in this world, much like you and I, the people who work their ass off, the people who will see somebody broken down on the side of the road and literally go help them. Those are the people that we sit back and go, good job, wonderful job, man. The pride that I feel for everybody here, the love that I feel for you guys are absolutely amazing. I love every one of you. I've never met anyone. I haven't met most of you guys. I know there's a few of you that I know outside of here, and that you come in and watch it and just to hear Dave babble on and on for a while. Uh, but I appreciate every one of our 1,230 subscribers. I value everybody who comes in here with an opinion, who wants to talk, who wants to chat, who wants to be here as a part of a wonderful show that is growing and growing and is growing based upon you guys. It is growing because you guys are helping us grow it. I'm not growing it because it's just me. I'm growing it because I want you guys to have a show that you can relate to from a common guy that's not a guy like Joe Rogan. No offense, no shade, Joe. I love you. Let's talk. But I also want to grow this because the common man needs a voice of common sense. We need to bring back common sense. We need every one of us to step back and go, that does not make sense. We do not need to do it. Guys, I'm going to bounce out of here, guys. This has been a wonderful show. I am absolutely floored. I'm looking at some of the stats going on now to 142 views. I need more people chatting, but that's just up to me. But guys, it is amazing to think what Scott and I have built. This show that we call the OTPH show, the groundbreaking that we've done, the work that we've done, the retooling, the rebranding, the scrambling, everything from top to bottom has been done with you guys in mind. Red, I love you. You're one of my favorite people. Kellogg's, it's nice to meet you. I don't recall ever seeing you, but come back again and again. I'm going to try to get more shows out here. I might actually try to plan out a real show and talk about one topic, not just swirl around in many different directions. But guys, this is the OTPH show. If you're new to this show and you have never watched it and you love what you see, click that subscribe button, like, love everything we do here. Because without you guys, this would not be the raw steel sex appeal gravy train on biscuit wheels that we call the OTPH show. Guys, my name once again is David Mason. In the background in the corner, you can see my 14-year-old Ian. Wave hi to everybody. There he is. Guys, I love you from the bottom of my heart. You guys are awesome. Every one of you keep smiling. It will get better. And it's not just because Trump's in office, because we are America and we have the voice to make it happen. You guys have a great night. This has been David Mason saying great night, everybody. Love you, love. And I will talk to you the